Welcome to my channel, Manna with Spice. Today's dish has been inspired from the street food of Tamil Nadu. I know it's a vast region and the street food will differ all over the region. It's one of the few dishes that I have had in India, in street food, where they don't use turmeric. For my recipe, I'm doing the same. Let's get on with the ingredients. Finely chopped red onion, or the equivalent I believe is about 3 shallots. Ginger garlic paste. I require for my dish about a tablespoon. The following spices: bay leaf, Taj pepper, Indian bay leaf, 2 centimeters approximately of cassis, 6 to 8 dried red chillies, 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, 1 teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of fennel, half a teaspoon of black peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of poppy seeds. In the description below I will be putting all the ingredients for this dish. And finally grind these into a powder. Traditionally the street food is made from using the paste of the ginger and garlic, the ground ingredients and water, and that is added to the onion. But I'll explain why I do it slightly differently. You're also going to need, give or take, 200 grams of chopped tomatoes. I'm using tin tomatoes because the tomatoes in UK at this time of year are absolutely tasteless. And I will also be using tinned coconut milk, which I'm going to be putting in about 150 millilitres. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I currently have just under 500 subscribers, and thank you to everybody that has subscribed, and it would be great if I can actually get over that 500 mark. Let's get on with cooking. Place a frying pan over high heat. Once hot, add about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of coconut oil, and just let that heat up for about 10 to 20 seconds before adding the finely chopped onion. If you add salt to the onion, it draws the water or the moisture out a lot more quickly. Once the onions are cooked so they're transparent and just of a slightly goldy colour, add the ginger garlic paste and reduce the heat to medium. This is where I differ from the actual street food. I tend to find that ginger garlic, when put in the paste, is very strong. You still get that rawness of those two spices, and by frying it on its own first of all, I find that rawness disperses. So I'll fry this for about a minute. I will then reduce the heat right down to low and add the ground spices. Stir frying for about 3 to 4 minutes. Add in a little bit of water if required to stop it from sticking and burning. Please let me know in the comments if you do the same thing. Once I have fried the spices on low, I increase the heat to medium and add half a cup of water. And I will bring this all to a simmer and cook it until there is a fairly thick gravy. At this point I add the meat. I'm using cubed beef, but you can use mutton or lamb. There is a slight difference which I'll mention a bit later on between using the different types of meat. However, the process you now do is exactly the same, is that you fry the meat until it is sealed and the gravy is sticking to the meat. At this point, you add the tomatoes and continue to fry until the tomatoes are broken down and it is starting to simmer. Reduce the heat right down to low, cover, cook, stirring occasionally for 40 to 60 minutes depending on the type of cut you've used. And this is where the difference lies between using the different types of meat. I have found that when using beef, I don't need to add more liquid to the gravy. However, when using mutton or lamb, that I've had to add extra moisture to the gravy during this cooking process. And the other thing I've also found that if you're using lamb rather than mutton stroke goat, the dish is a lot sweeter. Carry on cooking this until the meat is tender. Once tender, add the coconut milk, bring it back up to a simmer and cook uncovered until the dish and the gravy is to your liking. And here we have the dish that I am calling Tamil Nadu Masala. Let me know what you think of the dish in the description below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'll put a couple of other dishes that I've made from my channel and hope to see you on my next video.